Give me your party's position then on the news as announced by the presidency tonight that Nobuhle Nkabane has been fired.
Thank you very much, and good evening to you and the viewers at home. I'm not the spokesperson, so just to
apologies. You know, as I said that, I thought perhaps you'd had a rise, as Buti Manamela has experienced this evening. But let's stay with your role in Parliament, because it's equally as important. Speak to me about the reaction of the EFF to the news tonight that Nobuhle Nkabane is out of cabinet.
No, look, the EFF is vindicated. I think those who would have been following the story from that day when the EFF was kicked out of Parliament, bouncers were called to drag us out of Parliament because we asked a simple question to the DG of Higher Education relating to this problem of sitters. We held the ministry accountable when they wanted to put and appoint the children of ministers, when they wanted to deploy ANC cadres, when they wanted to deploy comrades to go and loot the monies and the billions of rands which are supposed to be used to uplift the youth of South Africa. So we're vindicated in that fight, because I think what we're seeing now really are the products of the continued fight, of the continued resilience in Parliament, to say that Parliament must not be made a sleeping institution that is there to protect the executive. Parliament's role fundamentally is to hold the executive accountable, not to cover up their corruption, not to protect them. And I think when you look at what the President and Commander-in-Chief of the EFF said in the press briefings just after the 2024 national election, was that the approach the EFF is going to take in Parliament is going to be much more robust, is going to be much more organized to ensure that before we attend committee meetings, we prepare, we plan, and we ask the very difficult and hard questions.
And how well, Sihle, do you think the committee has done, Parliament has done, in its interrogation of the issue around the selection or the appointment of these SETA board chairpersons, which were, yes, eventually rescinded, but not without resistance?
Look, it took a huge fight because obviously there are still members of Parliament that belong to the ANC, and you still have a chairperson that belongs to the ANC. So the obvious and natural position they are going to take is to try and protect their minister. But we didn't stop. We're resilient, as I said, even when they tried to silence us, even when they tried to kick us out of Parliament, we ensured that we continue to raise this matter, because it was a very important matter that deals with issues of young people in South Africa, but also the pace of government, to say, as we debate budget, as we vote for these budgets, how are we going to ensure that the money that government sets aside for higher education is being used correctly? It's not being channeled into the pockets of ANC cadres. It's not being channeled into the pockets of tenderpreneurs or corrupt construction companies or corrupt businesses that are aligned to the sitters, to ensure that that money is being used correctly. So you're correct. It didn't come easy. It took a big fight, and it took us standing firm on our position, even though at the time we were standing alone until society started to join.
The DA and Rise Mzansi have also spoken to us this evening. Yes, are happy that Minister Nkabane is out of cabinet, but they also feel that not every question has fully been addressed or accountability been taken in its wholeness. I wonder if the EFF shares the same position, and if so, what outstanding questions do you have, and who should answer them now?
Look, the new minister must know that he's going to find us ready. There are much more structural problems in higher education, not only in the SETAs, by the way. You will remember that even before this minister was removed, we raised the issues of the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. When we said, Minister, there are middlemen companies here that are making billions of rands every year and every month, yet we don't know what the services they are providing to students. Even in the SETAs, by the way, I think those who would have read the Sunday Times over the weekend would have picked up that there are a lot of corruption scandals that are taking place in the corruption SETAs, in the National Skills Funds. So we're going to continue to ask those questions. And for us, it doesn't matter whether it's Nkabane, whether it's Buti, whether it's Nomusa. What we're going to do is to hold the executive accountable and ensure that the department is doing its work. So you're correct. We're not going to celebrate and, be over euphoric and all of that. We are just doing our work, and tomorrow we'll be wearing our overalls. We'll be continuing with the work of Parliament as if nothing happened.
And do you believe Buti Manamela then, as the new Higher Education Minister, is the right person to basically turn the ship around?
Look, I wouldn't want to praise him too early. It's a very difficult department.